10 o'clock. I'm going to call this Tuesday, June 27th, 2023, Board of Equalization meeting to order. First item is roll call. Mr. Brett Town.
Present.
Miss Eleanor Thompson.
Present.
And I'm Patrick Crawley, and I'm here. Notice of the meeting was properly posted. First item is discussion and possible action regarding approval of the minutes of May 23rd, 24th, and 26th. Didn't we do this?
There was a different set of minutes you approved last
okay.
time. Yeah.
All right. Well, this set of minutes before the board. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of 5/23, 5/24, and 5/26 of 2023.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. The next item is, are all these on by phone?
Correct.
Okay. All right, we've got 3 properties that are all by phone. It may be different people.
So the first 2 are going to be Ray Browning, and then the last one is going to be someone else.
Oh, I got Blake Nelson on.
Blake Nealon, he's going to be the last one on the docket.
BOE 161.
Nealon should be 181. He was the one that was, you said was on top of the stack, but we
Yeah.
didn't deal with the docket.
I got it.
So 161 is going to be first, and that's going to be Ray Browning.
All right, and that's Blake Nealon?
Yeah, Nealon.
Yes.
I misspelled it.
No, yeah, I thought so too. Yeah,
Me too, thought the
it's
same
Nealon.
thing.
Yeah,
It's not Nelson.
no, it is not.
So this is Ray Browning.
Sadler Browning, how may I help you?
Yeah, this is Patrick Crawley, Chairman of the Board of Equalization in Oklahoma County. We have a piece of property, or at least one, in front of us today that Mr. Browning may be on.
I think it's going to be Tim. Hold on just a moment, please.
Okay.
This is Tim.
Yeah, sorry, who is this?
This is Tim Chef with Savage and Browning.
Okay. This is Patrick Crawley, Chairman of the Board of Oklahoma County. This Board of Equalization, is Ray Browning available, or are you standing in for him?
I'm doing it.
Okay, what was your name again?
Tim Chef, S-C-H-E-N-D-T.
S-C-H-E-M-P.
E-N-D-T.
E-M-D-T, okay? First item I have in front of me is BOE number 161, that's our number. It's account number ending in 5515. Looks like the assessor has it $2,369,675, and the taxpayer is asking for $1,284,789. Is all that right?
That's correct.
Okay. This property at 13810 North Penn, it's in Memorial Square. Tell us what you want us to know about this property.
Yep, so this is a former Bravo restaurant. Initially in 2020, Bravo vacated the property. A new franchisee purchased it and kept it as a Bravo. Their lease was at $15.25 a square foot. At the end of last year, they indicated to the owner that they would be vacating the property, which they did in April of this year. So it is currently vacant and being marketed. It is an 8,656 square foot restaurant currently, obviously vacant, like I said. So what we did was we ran an income pro forma based on that last lease rate of $15.25. We used a market vacancy factor of 5%. We used triple net expense at 75 cents a square foot. And then we used a base cap rate of 8.75 based on realty rates, national surveys. So that gets us to our NOI of 112,000, and then we capped it out, and that gets us to our $1,284,000.
Okay.
Essentially,
Wait a minute, before we go any further, did, the taxpayer you're representing, did they purchase this property?
you mean like recently?
Whenever?
A bench, like at some point, yes, they
Oh.
own it.
Okay, they own it all the way through the Bravo restaurants?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right, the assessor has some information here, go ahead.
It was built along with that whole Memorial Square shopping center that's built around that. This building, I believe, was built by Bravo, because according to the income information, it's a ground lease. So I don't know actually who actually owns the building at this point in time. I don't know if it is the same people that own the shopping center or not. But it was built along with that whole complex right there.
Well, I show the owner being Memorial Square DST, is that correct, Mr. Shrimp?
Yes, that's correct, and that's who owns the entire center.
Oh, okay. Oh, they own the whole Memorial Square?
Correct.
Okay. All right, anything else you want to tell us about this property?
Nope, that pretty much covers where we're at. Like I said, vacant restaurant, so.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Our agent did not run an income approach on it. Instead, he looked for comparable sales of restaurant buildings, and which are included. I believe he listed out of CoStar 20-something sales. 20 sales that range from $100 a square foot to $511 a square foot. The building is the same value as it was last year, which is $275 a square foot. And so that's what he did. He just felt like his sales justified the current value that we have on the property. And that's it.
Okay, do you hear all that, Mr. Shrimp?
Yep, I heard it.
All right, anything else you want to add or put in your 2 cents on that?
I'm not looking at the sales, so I'm not 100% sure what the comps are. We're at about $149 a square foot, so we're within that sale range, but we're closer to the bottom range.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, I'm going to close the hearing on the BOE 161. Open up the hearing on BOE 172. That's account number ending in 2345. It's the property of 14200 North Santa Fe in Edmond. The assessor looks like it initially had it at $27,982,478, and at the informal hearing lowered it almost $3 million to $24,703,498. It looks like the taxpayer is asking for $22,020,033. Is all that correct?
Let me verify. Is that the full market? What's the actual taxable value?
We don't deal with that.
We don't deal with taxable value. We
Oh, I
only-
know. I just want to make sure. Does the assessor have it? I want to make sure I have the right number in my system. After the decrease, do you know what it is?
Assessor, do you know any idea what? Like I said, we have no jurisdiction over
The
the.
taxable market value is the same as it was last year at $23,977,369.
All right, thanks. I just want to make sure.
$23,977,369.
Yes. Yes, the rest of
369.
your info is correct.
And what is is that the same as you listed it as a market value, or you?
No, the market value was reduced from the 27,982,478, as you said, and was, at the informal, was reduced to 24,703,498.
Okay, that's what I show. All right, tell us what you want us to know about this property, Mr. Shrimp.
Yep, so this is an owner-occupied food distribution center, warehouse, 465,329 square feet. On this one, we have done both an income pro forma using 375 a square foot in rent rates. We got that based on market comps from CoStar as well as a listing, which is included. Average asking rent on CoStar was about $366, so we went to $375. Market vacancy rate of 9%. We used operating expense of 10 cents a square foot, and then we used a cap rate of 7% to come up with our value of $22,020,033, which is about $47 a square foot. We also looked at some sale comps from 21 and 22, which started, I believe, on page 14 of our package. And those had basically a median sale price of about $37 a square foot, $38 a square foot. So those are pretty much in line with our income approach, a little bit lower than what we concluded, but they back up where we're coming in at the 22 million figure.
Okay, anything else you want to tell us?
Nope.
All right, we'll hear from the assessor.
Okay, this is the Ben E. Keith Food Service Facility at Memorial Road and Santa Fe. Sits on 80 acres, I believe. As he says, 446,000 of main building with 19,200 square foot separate service garage for the trucks. His comparables where he's bringing in the lease amounts of where they're using $375 a foot, we feel are not quite comparable to this property. We can't tell about how much of those comps may have any of the freezer or cold storage, which this building has quite a bit of that. Also, one of those comparables that it looks like he's leaning on quite a bit is listed is in Stillwater and built in 1964. Most of the lease comparables are smaller buildings, of course, but they also only have year built ranges from 1951 to 1985. The subject was built in 2005, so it was state of the art at that point in time. Then the sales comps that they used again were quite a bit smaller, and understandably so. It's hard to find something this big, but they came up with $38 square foot median. Again, most of them built before 2005, going back to 1969. So our appraiser found 4 lease comps that had a median asking lease rate of $7 a square foot. And even though those were higher rents, he actually used a lower rate on his income analysis. And then he found 4 sales comps that again are a little bit smaller, but they had a median sale price of $53.72 a foot. It looks like he used more of an income approach on this one and used a $5 cap rate. I'm sorry, $5 lease rate, and he came in at this $24,703,498 off of his income approach. But I think he's using better lease comps. Our sales comps, I feel like, are better and newer, like they should be, and based on the quality of this building and its location, and like I said, the amount of cold storage and freezer space in it, it should have a higher value. So that's where we're at.
Okay, anything else?
No, sir?
Any questions for the board?
I have a question for the person on the phone.
Okay, taxpayer, Mr. Shrimp,
You see, so you said owner occupied, do you rent space to other vendors?
No, this is not, they do not rent this. This is all owner occupied space, the entire warehouse.
That's what I thought.
NET is the company, yeah.
So how do you have a 9% vacancy rate?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. What was the question?
So how do you have a 9% vacancy? Explain the vacancy rate to me.
Well, that's not real. That's a market vacancy. So when you're building out an income pro forma, you use market parameters. So we use 9% as a market vacancy factor. I'm sure the assessor's income approach also has some vacancy factor built in as well. It's just kind of standard.
Yes.
But you need to tell me what that means. If you're not renting out space,
But you're not valuing it least fee. You're valuing it fee simple, which means you have to look at what's the market. So the market has a vacancy factor.
Oh.
You know, if you look at 100 warehouses,
Okay.
there's gonna be some of those that are vacant.
Okay, I get it now. So, and then you said something about Stillwater, what was the statement?
One of his main comps apparently was out of Stillwater, and that was, I think, the $3 a square foot. But it was at least listing at $3 a square foot. It's also listed for sale, but the sale price is undisclosed. It's a 590,000 square foot building, but it's built in 1964, and it does have 75 acres of land. But our main complaint on that, or disagreement on that, is that it was built in 1964. It's in Stillwater, so nothing against Stillwater, but you know it's not Edmond.
Do you go that far away? Because of the peculiar nature of a huge storage facility like this, do you go out of county? Because we usually don't go out of county.
Well, when you have specialty type properties that are unusual, we will do that.
Okay.
We don't like to do it either, but if it calls for it, we will.
That's why I was saying Stillwater.
Yeah, we only include that because it has cold storage, and so we was kind of like just, hey, this is what this one's running for. And I will say, if you look at our sale comps, I agree, it's hard to find big spaces. And the best one we found was our first one, which is about double the size of the actual subject, but it was new, built in 2005.
Where was it?
6801 Sunny Lane Road.
6801
Yeah,
South.
well,
North or south?
Okay, so can you?
Oh, that's the old
south,
quad
sorry,
graphics.
south.
Okay, so do the Hobby Lobby and, because it has to be food or warehouse? Does it have to be a food warehouse?
Well, it's preferable to find something that has cold storage and freezer space in it to use as a comp.
Okay,
You know, now, the Hobby Lobby is a lot, well, I guess it's very similar to this in that it's a truck, it's a distribution facility.
Right.
You know, lots of trucks in and out and all
Right.
that, yes.
but you wouldn't use that because it doesn't have cold storage, or you would use it?
What, the Hobby Lobby?
Yeah,
Well, it's owner occupied, like he says, there's no lease to compare it to on that one. And it's, I don't know, millions and millions of square feet in that facility. I think the
So you have
quad
to use
graphics thing, that was
David.
like $40 a foot for, that was the 900,000 square feet. The thing about that was, the guy out of California bought that had closed down. Quad Graphics
yeah.
built that facility back in the early 90s and added onto it. And then when it came off of the 5-year manufacturing deal, and they ran it for a couple of years, and then that business just pretty much evaporated. So
So the building over on Lincoln and 36, is that a comparable business? It's something foods. Just, I think everybody thinks it's TG&Y, but it's not TG&Y. There's a food place just west of Lincoln on the south side of 36.
You're talking about on Santa Fe, where the old
No,
TG&Y warehouse was?
Homeland?
Yes,
The new Homeland that was built over there.
no,
Oh, sorry.
It's
that's
the storage
east.
stuff.
This west of there. If you get to the corner of 36 and Lincoln, they put the new grocery store is on the northeast corner.
I think it's around 50.
Oh, am I wrong?
Yeah, it's up on 50. That's the Homeland.
No, guys. There's a Grandy's on the corner of 36 and Lincoln. Just back west of there is this mammoth food distribution thing.
Right,
So
and that
it's-
was built in, that's quite old too. And
But
I
that
don't,
would be comparable to this thing? I mean, that's the kind of facility that it is?
probably, I don't know how much, I don't, like I say, it's quite a bit older, and I don't know how much freezer space it has in it. I'm pretty sure it does have cold storage to some degree.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about now,
It's
they're on the
50th
south side of
and Lincoln,
36.
My question for both the assessor and the taxpayer would be, was there not any consideration given to looking at the Cisco building on the warehouse? Because it's cold storage, it's transport, it's on I-35.
On the west
It's
side.
very new though, I
On
mean,
the
it's
west
like
side.
2015.
Yeah, on the west side of the street, the highway.
I don't know if we had any documentation for the lease on that or not.
Okay.
So
I certainly couldn't find any. I can tell you right now, I know we're
Okay.
talking about that, I don't know.
Well, it's not as, it's probably not quite as large as Benny Keith,
Not on
but it's,
acres.
it's the same business model. I've dealt with both of them. I've bought from both Benny Keith and Cisco over years. So.
I'll look. I don't know if I
Okay,
have a
just
lease on
question.
that one or not. 311 Northwest 122nd.
I'm sure
Yeah, that,
it's-
okay, so it looks like they're, that 311 Northwest
Is that
122nd,
even operational anymore? Isn't that closed down?
that was, that does appear to have,
That was Davis.
There's one off of Broadway Extension. That's the old.
37 Northeast 122nd. That was a building that was built in 74, 221,000 square feet on 10 acres. And that was quoted as having a rent of $650 a foot on that.
And he used, what did he use?
$375, I believe.
375, yeah.
So on the
Let's
list,
set up a median.
on this list,
Right.
we have, these are the ones that our appraiser referred to. There's $750 a foot, $650 a foot, $675 a foot, and $625 a foot. But only, it looks like only one of them specifies that there was refrigeration and cold storage. And again, that was built in 74.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else from the assessor?
No, sir.
Mr. Shemp, anything else from taxpayer?
I mean, I think $6 is, I think that's, even $5 is pretty strong, just personally. You know, anecdotally, I think that's strong, but that's just our position, so.
So where are you? Are you in
I
Oklahoma City?
live in Kansas City,
Which one?
but, what?
Which one?
I'm on the Kansas side, I'm actually in Oakland Park.
Yeah, that's not Kansas. Boo. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I go Chiefs.
You know what, I still claim it, I'm close enough, I can sit there, basically.
You're a Jayhawker fence sitter.
You can see it from across the river.
Okay, anything else from taxpayer?
No, I think I'm good, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, well, thank you for your input, Mr. Shemp. I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE number 172. And thank you for your participation.
The letter.
Oh, yeah, we got a letter to go out Thursday, telling you what we decided.
Sounds like a plan, thank you guys.
All right. All right. Okay, we're gonna on BOE 181.
This is Blake Nealon.
Yes, Mr. Nealon, this is Patrick Crawley, Chairman of the Board of Equalization in Oklahoma County. We have a property that I believe you represent,
Yes, sir.
8300 North May Avenue.
Yes, sir.
The owner being IMC OKC1 LLC, right?
Just a senior living center.
Yes, sir. You have that right.
All right, I got the assessor has assessed this at $5,172,000, and I believe you're asking, well, you're asking for 2.7 million or less.
Yes.
I guess the or less goes all the way to zero, but
All the way to the bottom.
there you go. All right, tell us what you want us to know about this property.
Well, the property was acquired right at the tail end of last year, so pretty close to the assessment date, in December of last year for a stated price of $2,750,000, and I provided a purchase sale agreement that went with that was part of the purchase deal. Which is what they paid for the property, $2,750,000. There was a little bit less for some closing costs, and I forget now, there were some incidentals, but I think that's why I rounded down to $2,700,000. But essentially, $2,750,000 is what they paid for the property. And it's my understanding in speaking with the ownership, the property needed some work, and they're in the process now of doing some work on the property. So that is some explanation as to why that price is what it is.
The price of what you're asking for value.
I use the word price, and that's probably wrong. The value well, the price of the purchase agreement that they made, but it establishes the value of the property, particularly since it's so close to the assessment date.
Okay, do you know if this owner, when he purchased the property, did he have any affiliation at all with the seller?
No, it's my understanding they didn't. I asked that question.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's really all I have.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
So, this property we have on at $5,172,000, which is $79,570 per bed. I believe it's 65 beds. Yes, it's on at $175 a square foot at 29,524 per square feet. We were perplexed by the sale too, because can you go back to the, yeah, right there, or to transfer screen, please, Michael?
What was the documentary stamps on this? Was it the $2,750,000?
The doc stamps are 4,083.75, which equates to the 2,722,500.
Okay.
But okay, so let's go back to the previous sales. Can you please? There was two. Yeah, can you scroll down there? Can you see those?
No, let me scroll down. It's weird.
There were two other sales in 2012 and 2015 for $9 million. And
For this?
yes, and so we think, okay, maybe it included personal property and business value, and there may have been something else with it. But we were just, this is a 2010 building. This isn't like it was built in the 60s or early 70s or something, which is typically what we usually, when we see these things coming in so low, that's what we kind of expect.
When was it purchased for $9 million?
It was in 2012 2012 and 2015. No, 2012 and 2016 for about $9.5 million, which probably included personal property and business value.
9 million each time?
$9.5 million each time, more or less.
What is this property?
It's a senior living.
Yeah, it's a senior living
Oh, okay.
center and memory care.
All right.
And so we were perplexed about it. Also, there's a mortgage on the property right now for this sale for $4,738,000. And because they did send us back a sale verification letter, which confirmed the 2.7 million.
What was the mortgage, 4 million?
4,738.
Right. So if you're buying a property for $2.7 million, how are you getting a mortgage for 4.7 million? I don't know. So that was perplexing too. So based on, let's see if there, I think our appraiser pulled out 4 other sales. One for $58,000 per bed, one for about $83,000 per bed, and one up there for like $150,000 per bed. And that's $224 a foot. That's $97 a foot. That's $93 a foot. And there may well been some personal property and business value included in that larger last sale. But all in all we're saying is that the $2.7 million that was recorded on this just didn't seem to make much sense with that mortgage and the previous sales that took place. And he's trying to bring them up there, and that's what the problem is that the previous sales are listed down below this, and he's just trying to find them so you can see when they took place. And that's,
Are you trying to get your?
I don't know if it's a screen resolution or what. I didn't have the exact dates, but I do know they were 2012 and 2016, and they were more or less $9.5 million. So, just not sure about the whole thing.
So I'm not going to be able to, because it's so big over there, I won't let it scroll down. But you want to like say something out loud to you on the sales?
If you don't mind.
Yeah. So the previous sale was so the most recent sale was December 13 of 22 for $2,722,500, which we've already established. The previous sale was January 13, or excuse me, 12/23 or 1/13 of 16 for $9,500,000.
And that was in 16, January 16?
Yeah, January 13th.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the recorded date. Is that what? Yeah. And then before that, the recorded we have December 14 of 2012 sold for $9,502,000. And then in 2009, it looks like there was a deed transfer, but in August of 2009, it sold for $937,500.
That was the land.
The
land,
That was
yes.
the land sale.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to bring those two up because it just didn't make sense that just a few years ago it sold for $9.5 million, and now it's selling for 2.7.
What was the market value in 22 and 21?
Can you find that, Michael?
Yes, sir. The market value in 2022 was $5,172,000, and in 21, $5,300,100.
Okay, so we were pretty consistent in that value for the past few years, couple of years anyway, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's all I really have.
And just real quick, the value in 2020, if you wanted that, was $6,565,080.
Okay, so we trimmed it down. Okay, probably because of COVID issues, we probably recognize that to some degree.
Occupancy.
Yes. And that's all I have.
Okay. We'll hear a response from the taxpayer. Mr. Nealon?
Yeah, thank you. The only response that I have to what I heard there was, It's my understanding that that $4 million amount that's in the mortgage, they had rolled in some refurbishment money into their mortgage. That's my understanding. So that would explain, that, as I had mentioned, when they bought the property, it needed work. I don't think they bought anything other than the property itself. In other words, I think the property was I think they essentially shut it down to redo it. So when they did that process of doing that, they rolled in some money in their loan to affect some of that remodeling work that they needed to do. That's my understanding of it anyway.
And when did they finish the remodeling work?
Well, I think that's ongoing this year.
Yeah, they just bought it.
Okay.
in December.
May I ask another question? In the purchase of this, do you know if they've got the operating license included with that?
I don't know the answer to that question off the top of my head. I mean, I haven't looked into it. I don't know.
Okay, because sometimes that can affect these things.
I'm sorry, I don't know that answer, but I don't.
Okay, thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
Is he here?
Okay.
Is he in Oklahoma? Where are you?
I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right.
Nice and hot.
Oh, we're hot too.
Not that odd.
All right, anything else you want to add, Mr. Nealon?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna close the hearing then on BOE number 181. And that's the last one we have on our property. I thank you, Mr. Nealon, for your input. And a letter will go out Thursday when we reach a decision on what we believe the market value of this property is, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. Bye.
I don't know why it doesn't allow me to bring up everything when I
It's a
when I
lot of
bring it over
stuff
to the screen.
being built
It's like
on the
it-
west side of.
I can see everything over
35.
on a regular computer, but it just blows everything.
Pretty much.
I don't know, it has to do with resolution of the.
All those warehouses.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh, Robert's
Oh,
still
wait.
going.
Yeah, we're still on the book.
Still on the record?
Still on the record. I don't see any citizens, any input from the board.
no.
Nothing from the peanut gallery, so,
You hear, Mom?
Yes.
Okay, so I move that we adjourn.
Second?
all those in favor? Aye. Okay.
You gonna come
We're talking
those
about
warehouse?
those warehouses,
I'm trying to find that thing where I can.
precast.
Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. Let me just shut the
Yeah.
stream real quick, or not the stream, the
That's
recording.
like the business.
6 weeks, 4 6.